So good morning, everyone. Welcome. I think we have a little tiny group today. Some of us are battling colds and other such things. I'd like to welcome our friends on the internet. I'd like to welcome Maria from Greece. I can see you. Great. Good to have you here. Athens, where it's snowing. So, let's do what we always do to start off with. We'll close our eyes just for a few moments. We suspend our mind just a little bit, that epoche, as they say in Phenomenology, and into awareness with each other. And then we'll establish ourselves in this awareness state. Then, having established ourselves more or less, and Jeff, would you mind turning? Oh, I think the recording's turned on. It is turned on. Thanks. And then I keep forgetting to record the programs. And then having established ourselves a little bit, more or less, we'll extend that awareness through our body, huh? Because awareness itself awakens awareness. Extend all the way down into the earth, and all the way back up to the heart, palate of the mouth, behind the eyes, top of the head, into the sky. And feeling that opening of that column of light and energy. Extend to our fingertips. This process of embodying awareness, embodying the light, spacious energy. And having established ourselves in our body, we'll then extend ourselves to the immediacy of our situation, which is us. We're always in situations, huh? Even at the moment of death, a big situation. So then we'll extend to each other. And if you extend to me today, I may make the day through. A little energy. And we extend to our friends on the internet. Extend to each other. As Young Tong Rinpoche, the great Dzogchen master, would say, that compassion, what he called absolute compassion, is this capacity of extending this awareness into each other, and extending this awareness, this light, into a person's present moment, into their past, and into their future, from the place of awareness itself, from this timeless awareness. And perhaps we can feel that right now, this state of being in timelessness, in time, as ordinary people. And then we'll take another movement, we'll extend into our ancestors, huh? The mothers and the fathers, and the mothers and the fathers. We'll extend to them. And you and I are expressions, huh? Of the generational field. So again, we'll extend directly, inside to inside. And then, in mutual support. And then, will extend to all the great yogis and teachers and gurus from all the different traditions that we had the good fortune and the good luck of meeting. Those people who imbibe or embody awareness so completely that the invisible becomes more visible. This morning we'll extend to Lama Norla. And we can extend to each our own, all the different people. With each of these extensions, the field itself becomes more vibrant, more resonant, and more stable. Stability of awareness. And then we'll extend to the different traditions that we participate in. And nowadays, with geography being so tiny, information so available, we can have many initiations and experience many traditions. And traditions themselves are fields of knowledge and light and understanding as people articulate their experience of primordial awareness in different cultures and different times. And they mix in our bodies and we become universal people, because the tribal thing is thinning. Maybe. More or less. It was. So here we are. And then we'll extend to that dimension of our awareness. Our final extension. Just so mysterious. Archetypal. The archetypal dimension. The energies, the vortexes, manifesting us, and to the deities, devas, dakinis, For some, as they say, God is love, certain traditions. And for other traditions, love is God, And we'll extend and invoke the Dakini, Gnosis, direct perception, awareness. And then we're going to have Patricia who will chant maybe 5 verses of the Kundalini Stavaha. And the Kundalini Stavaha is a very ancient chant of Kashmir Shaivism, And it's a particular chant that Swami Muktananda loved a lot and would usually have sung on very special occasions of invoking the Kundalini, evoking this power of awareness, manifesting in our bodies, awakening its own self in us. And also part of the power of the Kundalini is the very sound and the vibrations allow the central channel to become focused. So with that,
Janmodhara nirikshani hataruni vedadi bijarima nityam chetasi bhavyate bhuvikada sadvakya sancharini Mampatu priyadasha bhavakapadam Sangataye Sridhara Datri Tvam Swayamadi Deva Vanita dinati dinam pashum Raktamba Bruta Chandrika Lipimai Sarva Kritir Nidrita Jagrat Kurma Samashrita Bhagavati Tvamam Samalokaya Mam Shoganda Kuganda Dosha Jaditam Vedadikaryanvitam Svalpa Svamala Chandra Koti Kiraner Nityam Shariram Kuru Siddharti Nija Dosha Vitsthalagatir Vajiyate Vidyaya Kundalya Kula Marga Mukta Nagari Maya Kumarga Shriya Yadyevam Bhajati Prabhata Samaye Madhyana Kale Tava Nityam Yakula Kundali Japapadam Bhojam Sasido Bhavet Vaya Kasha Chaturdaleti Vimale Vansha Falon Mulake Nityam Samprati Nitya Deha Gatita Sanketita Bhavita Vidya Kundalamani Nisvajanani Maya Kriya Bhavyate Yeshte Sira Kulodbhave Pranatibi Satstotra Ke Shambhubi Data Shankara Mohini Tribhuvana Chaya Patudgamini Samsaradi Mahashuka Prahurani Tatrastita Yogini Sarva Granti Vibedini Swabhujaga Sukshmati Sukshma Para Brahmayana Vinodini Kulakuti Vyagatini Bhavyate.
Just read a few. And dealing with the computer up just a little bit, I'll read a few of the verses of this great chant. The Kundalini, the Kula Kundalini, is always looking for opportunities to liberate her lovers, her devotees. She's ever young, and she's the origin of the Vedas and other scriptures, as well as the seed syllables, And in this world, yogis can experience them and apprehend her through their experience. Their own experience is her. And sometimes she exists in the words of saints and yogis. So let this auspicious one protect us so that we may live in divine union. And I consider myself to be her beloved servant. This Kula Kundalini has a red luster. And you can think of the Kula Kule in Dzogchen, the red goddess, that pulsates and magnetizes us, this energy. And she is nectarian moonlight, And she's in the form of letters, the Matrika Shakti, those vibrations. And at times she has this shape of a serpent, and is sleeping, then she awakes. Oh, my beloved one, you who have the eyes as Kurma Prana during the waked state, means the eyes are ablaze, look at me and gaze into me. Look into me and gaze into me. Then my body becomes filled with the light of the moon. If you embody this love of the Kundalini, which is embodying her, in time, you become a siddha. That's enough for right now. So with that, really appreciate last week's experience of Elizabeth articulating her experience that she went through around this same time of year. I think last Friday was actually the anniversary, much to our surprise. And how, by going through that, and as she was even going through it, within the very experience itself, the power of awareness and the power of the energy and the power of the light protected her. And then she survived and began that unfolding of the indestructibility of her own awareness, which is primordial awareness itself. I remember once Yen Tian was saying and giving a talk from the Taoist Qigong thing. Never fear the unbearable. So we've been focusing, last week we focused on the co-emergence of this self-illumination. And today we're going to go again on this focusing on awareness. And to use Dzogchen language, we're focusing on Togao, to use that way. And Togao is gazing. And as you open Togao in a more almost manualistic way, it's 3 postures and 3 ways of looking, and you stare at the sky, but it's very manualistic, like many things, but actually it's much more dimensional than that. It's much more dimensional. It's much more than any posture or any particular way of gazing. In fact, I'm going to send an email out to Amy, who has all these postures of movement, okay? And when I used to study with the Bon tradition, they always had a lot more movement for those with the Bon in terms of moving in the gazing things to awaken the energy. Not like the Kundalini, huh? And so we like different little streams coming in, huh? It's different streams. And we really feel good when they're all saying the same thing. I like convergence, I feel better at being a distrustworthy soul, And also, I found out we can start giving CEU credits online. And I never wanted to do that, but someone who wanted to come online found out that just because we're giving CEU credits for this, it can also be given online, which is really good. So even when you're not here, CEU credits are available. So, wandering around. So let's work today on the topic of the translucidity of the gaze of awareness. And the word translucidity is a non-dualistic phrase, actually, because it's trans. It's not like the light and the object. Translucidity embraces both of those dimensions simultaneously, right? Say yes if it makes sense to you. So let's pair up a little bit, but you don't have to move a lot. Just pair up with one person or two people, and our friends on the internet will pair up with each other, and Maria, who's visiting today, I will pair up with her, okay? We can see each other. Can you pull the computer a little closer? This is how we like to meet, in the field. And what's so great about this is all doable. That's perfect. That's great. And this is all a bunch of ordinary people, which is a relief, right? No specials here. And you guys can pair up with each other. Can you do that? Or you can, or we can feel the connection with me, or Elizabeth here, even though I have a cold. So let's focus in, and I'm gonna read some of this like a little invocation of pointing out, okay? So we'll focus in. And we can focus on the whole group. And Laura, there's some little note here saying something. I don't know what that means. Who's that? What does that little note say? Great, thanks. So, the lucidity of awareness is experienced directly through the doorway of our own subjectivity. And our own subjectivity is our innermost awareness, huh? So we're bypassing our mind just a little bit, because we go back to that ancient distinction between mind and psyche, or mind and awareness, huh? So we're suspending the mind a bit and focusing on our own subjectivity. Or as Husserl, who we love a lot, would also say, what is the wonder of all wonders? Pure awareness, and the doorway is our own subjectivity. So in this way we understand our subjectivity itself is the manifestation of primordial awareness itself. And this is quite different than the early Buddhist teachings, or the mid-Buddhist teachings. As we gaze into our own interiority, let's start there. We can experience the unfolding of the manifestation of this field of radiance and lucidity of awareness. So my mind's suspended somewhat. I'm focusing in and feeling the arising, the felt sense of my own awareness, which is ultimately awareness itself. The invisible field of luminous knowingness, this invisible field of luminous knowingness which pervades everything and anything in manifesting, becomes more experientially visible, as Merleau-Ponty would describe, and as the Dzogchen masters describe. And I'd like us to consider this is our most primary practice, if you'd like. So first there's the lucidity of our own awareness opening and manifesting. Do you feel that right now? Say yes if you do. Do you feel that right now? Friends on the internet, yes. Then we're going to focus on the lucidity of phenomena. So there's the lucidity of our own awareness, and there's Elizabeth right there, phenomena, and Carol, Steve on the internet, Maria, Kathy, us, the lucidity of phenomena. So this phenomena is not just a function of my own tiny mind, huh? As some would think. Experientially visible can mean at times seeing flashes of light. It can mean sensing light. It can mean experiencing the presence of the radiance within us. When we feel that state of presence, that is the radiance manifesting in the felt sense. Feeling the presence of the radiance within us and beyond us. It's like feeling the field. Are you in the field now? Do you feel the field? Say yes if you do. So experiencing the presence of the radiance means feeling the luminous experience of the light and the energy of the light in everything and anything. That's really the sadhana. Experiencing this presence, this radiance of the light, this energy, this usiya presence in everything and anything, and in anyone and everyone. And at that moment, you and I are beyond good and evil in a certain level of perception, and yet at the same time, with another level, we can see the variations within phenomena, right? We can start to experience duality within non-duality, and non-duality within duality. As we experience, we can extend to each other, inside to inside. As we experience the visibility of this luminous knowingness within us as us, we're empowered. So it's an empowerment. In yoga, there's self-empowerment. So as I experience this arising of this energy, this light, this felt sense, this lucidness, I'm being empowered to experience the manifestation of lucidity within the very appearance of phenomena. So I'm not only experiencing it in myself, but since it takes one to know one, I now have the capacity to experience the light, the radiance in others, in you. And just as you have the capacity to experience the light in me. And our mind is still suspended a bit, huh? It's there enough that we can see differentiatedness. That's why it's really good to have one. But our mind is now secondary to awareness itself. Lucidity is not only within us, but within all phenomena. And all appearance has lucidity, and all appearance is lucidity. So all phenomena, everything we hear and see, are the manifestations of this primordial radiance. And when we're experiencing the radiance of phenomena, our inner light is meeting the outer light. And thus there's the experience of the one indivisible light. Or it says in the Yeshe Lama, that great textbook of Dzogchen practice, the inner yin meets the outer yin. The inner field meets the outer field. Let's stay with that right now. How you guys doing on the internet, okay? You're feeling this? The inner field meets the outer field. The inner yin. That in that moment, non-duality becomes manifest within duality, within us. In truth, there's only primordial, luminous radiance that is manifesting our mind, my mind, our body, this innermost awareness, as well as the infinitely vast universal context of phenomena that were placed within in time and space. So this whole world, huh? And then you can see in these later Dzogchen teachings, or this form of phenomenology, in a certain word it becomes pantheistic, to use that language, huh? Not pantheistic in saying it as an entity, huh? Because awareness is not an entity. Even my own awareness is not an entity, huh? So our capacity to experience this radiance of the field of awareness within our own embodied subjectivity opens for us the ability to gaze into the subjectivity of all phenomena. Now that's actually an amazing statement, because that is a statement of the source of ethics right there. That because I can be aware of my own subjectivity, my own who-ness, I can be aware of the foundational subjectivity with everyone and everything. That essence of the oneness, of subjectivity, of wholeness. That's why this is not impersonal. This is not witness consciousness. That is the foundational of ethics. And Merleau-Ponty pursued this a lot. So when I lose this awareness of my own subjectivity, or I lose this awareness of subjectivity around me, then my resort to I lose the I-thou, to use Buber's language. When that disappears, then I'm going to principles, you with me, for ethics. And then that type of objectified thinking loses contact, loses the power of the light. You don't have to believe any of this, but does this make sense, what I'm saying to you? Does this make sense? That the source of ethics is actually this awareness of subjectivity within my own body. And with that, because as I can feel it in my own self, I can experience it in others. Unless my mind starts clamping down on otherness just being people from New Orleans, Louisiana. Or who are this or that, which happens. So the mind itself forecloses the range of subjectivity, forecloses the non-dualness, naturalness of subjectivity. Say yes if that's making sense to you. Why don't we follow the instructions right now, guys, okay? Just follow the instructions, okay? We can do other things other times. Because if you don't have this, you can be in objective states and objectifying states, but from this frame, you will not gain liberation. The intersubjective gaze opens the innermost openness of all phenomena. And so subjectivity is the openness, is Dasein, of our being to being itself within all beings. So the openness of our being to being itself within all beings. One can see easily, we'll pause here, as therapists, as psychotherapists, you with me? That when this subjectivity is foreclosed in ourself, right? is not there. You have two wonderful people, they're in a couple, and yet there is no awareness of their own subjectivity. It's been lost, huh? Like it can be foreclosed developmentally. Then the foundational has to be reopened again. This is Winnicott's great understanding. Is this making sense for you guys? How you doing, Steve? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
What's happening for you this morning in the beautiful islands?
In St. Croix, it is, I feel so, I'm feeling this through the subjectivity of my own being. I'm feeling the subjectivity of everything around me and of Giselle, who I'm working with. And we're just, and of everyone.
Yes. You know, the ancients would say, they made this distinction between psyche and mind, right? There's mind and psyche. And that psyche cannot be objectified. Psyche is like open awareness itself we all participate in. Let's see.
Yes, and yet psyche can encompass the mind too.
Absolutely, yes. That's one of the things we're working is bringing our mind into psyche, that I can think through awareness, I can feel through awareness, I can both love through awareness, and I can even hate through awareness, that everything can be infused by this awareness, and I can feel my body being embodied by awareness and embodying awareness. Let's see where Heidi is right now. I'll pass the mic to Heidi. Hi, Heidi. What's happening as we go through this? We're going to do this in a very disciplined way today. What's happening for you? What's happening, Heidi?
Yes. So I had a little bit challenging morning due to some domestic stuff and toxins and all that. But it feels to me like there's this dipping in and out, this kind of dialogue between the psyche and the mind, where there's this like wave opening back and forth.
Heidi just says she's having a little trouble right now. She's coming in, and there was some challenges this morning, some domestic challenges, okay, and some toxic stuff. So she sits here, she finds herself coming in and coming out, okay? Is that correct, hon? Entering in, yes. Yes, it's on.
Yeah, it's like I don't think it's on.
No, this mic is on. That goes to the computer. Yeah. People can hear it. People can hear you in this room. We have two systems.
So it's like this opening and closing, this almost like a dialogue between the mind and the psyche, where the mind is dipping into the psyche and coming out, and it's like a wind that's blowing.
Yes. Now she's helping us all enormously. Okay. And she says it's like opening and closing, opening. And the Shaivite masters call it the abhasa. It opens and closes. It opens and closes. And us feeling really comfortable with this opening and closing is liberation. That sometimes we're thrown out of this awareness state. Whack, you with me? I'm a sissy, so just a little bit of illness, and I go, oh my God. So, and I get thrown out. So, entering in, and then we come back out. And it's like a win. And that word win is really useful in this, because a lot of this is the win, the energy. It opens up for us, and then it closes. It opens, and closes. And that is essential to the process of embodying awareness, is the opening and closing. So it's not like, oh God, I have to begin all over again. You know, that is not a frame. You see, it's the frame of process. The abhasa. It's like opening and closing. It's like flashing of the light. Where are you at now, Heidi? I'm going to give you this microphone. So, will you experience it now?
So now there's more like less of a dialogue, more like a merging of the mind and the psyche, and then it's like wave-like quality where everything is like this big wave moving, and
What's it like to be in the wave now, that vibrational wave that's moving? So there's all the phenomena, yet there's this movement within the event itself. There's movement within the event itself.
it has this inherent quality of peaceful dynamism in it. It's kind of dynamic, but very, very peaceful, and it comes with this quality that helps. I like the Taoist phrase you said, to not fear the unbearable, because then you kind of like just going with it.
And Heidi's describing for us again, I'll take the mic. She's describing again this paradoxical state of movement and stillness simultaneously. So sometimes in meditative awareness, stillness is good and movement is bad, okay? That's a tragic way of looking at things, okay? It was surely because you miss what the actual is taking place. There is this simultaneousness of stillness and movement. And as we move along, and perhaps some of us are there right now, there's the experience of timelessness in time, which is an amplification of that same statement. In timeless awareness, in time. And as we start to experience this is the natural unfolding, at least for moi, this feels eminently doable. I don't know about you, but to me, this feels like a doable thing. You with me? It's not, I'm not eradicating all, in quotes, the impurities. And in this tradition, the word impurity, or trying to clean everything up, scrub, 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 rub, scrub. You know, you're supposed to clean everything up, purifying everything. This word purity only means here that whatever I'm doing, I'm experiencing within awareness itself, huh? So you don't have that sort of ritualistic preoccupation, that extended form of anality. Everybody here right now? This okay what we're doing? Yes, your question, please. I'm going to pass the mic to you. Okay. So I'm going to stay in awareness too. We're going to gaze into Kate with our whole bodies, because we're using our bodies as gaze. Yes, Kate.
So it has to do with simultaneity of experience, timelessness in time, and Zwambika Kaya. Yeah. And I'm wondering this whole morning about if a person becomes, would we want to attain that state of I'm losing words. Simultaneous multidimensionality and Zwambika Kaya, like more and more of the time, because what I'm having some glimpses of that like self-arising time in timelessness and vice versa. But at the same time, up until now, more of my experience has been like walking the door, opening the door into a room, like opening the door into Sambhogakaya, and then opening and then closing that door sort of, and then opening the door into Dharmakaya, and then closing that door, and then opening the door into Namanikaya, and then closing that door.
Yes, you're very fortunate person. You're a Sambhogakaya person.
Mm-hmm.
You have that, the archetypical realm has always been open for you. Sometimes confusing, but you live and you articulate the realm of the archetypical dimension with a lot of facility. It's helped you in your work. And then other times you're shifted, you're in the flesh and cars and sailboats and patience and all this and you're relating to that. And sometimes you feel the infusion of the Sambhogakaya into that. And sometimes it all just disappears and you're in Dharmakaya awareness, luminous darkness, and I'll touch that later on in the talk, making it more explicit, but there's really no you either in that moment. It's just this openness. It's existing without being an existent. You with me? And however, it's like sometimes on the basement, I love my basement, and sometimes on the first floor, and I really like that now better than the basement, and sometimes on the third floor. So all these different dimensions, we slowly but surely learn mastery. We get at home in them. And as we get at home in them, we begin to experience, number one, that they're exactly the same. It's different manifestations of the same light, the same awareness. But in moments and in situations, we will find ourselves more often than not we may find ourselves in one or another. But this Swambhikakaya, and all this emerged over time in the understandings. In the earliest teachings, all there was some Dharmakaya, and everything else was illusion. As the validity, as the actuality of Sambhogakaya arose, then it became more valid. And then as the validity of the Manakaya, flesh, people, all this world became more and more valid, that divinity permeates everything and anything as its own self. And Swambhikakaya just symbolizes that you are experiencing being at home in all these different manifestations of the divine, to use that type of spiritual language. Is that okay with you? Great. Swambhikakaya. Do you guys on the internet understand that a little bit? Is that making some sense? Great. So let's hold awareness together. We're now going to move to embodiment, okay? And I really appreciate as we go through this embodiment. So this really is an incarnational path, to use that language. Most importantly, this gaze is not simply through our eyes alone. In fact, many of us get stuck in the gaze of eyes alone, okay? But this gaze is embodied as our luminous awareness permeates our body and permeates our embodiment. And there's this play of gazing and embodiment that is a simultaneous process. A sense of the pervasive embodiment of the radiance opens us to the translucid like resonance and attunement to and within the field of being within all beings. So the more I feel this pervasiveness of this embodiment, just feel it in your body right now. So even if you're sick, you with me? And that's why for some of us, Juliet's not on right now, and some other people who have been very, very sick, and yet it's amazing how they maintain the sense of the embodiment of the light, whatever is happening to their bodies. They are able to, out of practice, the embodiment of the radiance opens us to the translucid light resonance and attunement within the field of being within all beings. So if I'm experiencing that, And if I'm experiencing this embodiment of this radiance, I am experiencing this radiance. I'm embodying it. And this embodiment is in the physical body, but not simply the body of flesh. And as I experience this embodiment of the light, the indestructibleness of the embodiment becomes more and more powerful for me. Be with me? Even if my body feels like shit, okay? And so it becomes more and more the sense of the Vajra, to use the Vajrayana language, more indestructible, unborn, undying, manifesting, But it's not in mind alone. It's not an idea. So our method of gazing, and as I feel this in my own, and I'm feeling the beingness of being in my own self, I can then start to feel the field of being in everybody else. So here's Elizabeth sitting next to me, and I can feel the field of being within her as her being. And that starts to liberate me, just feeling that much. Say yes if this is making sense to you guys. Say yes if you're experiencing it. Now this is not the only path. There's another path, neti, 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 and you can take that one. But this is a lot of fun, actually. This is a fun path. Yes?
In truth, I don't feel a differentiation between myself and Elizabeth, or I feel like an immense stillness and the energy, and it's like my whole body's, but I don't feel a differentiation.
Can you see her?
Yes.
Does she look different? Does she look different?
Different than?
Your face.
Oh, of course.
That's the only difference we're talking about. Her face, we're going to put is different than your face, but you're feeling totality more and more. And actually it is totality. When we speak of non-dual, another way of speaking of non-dual is totality. You feel totality. Wherever you're at, you feel the totalness. You with me? And that totalness, and yet there's a difference, not at the level of totality, but at the level of face and form. So as Heraclitus would say, in the moment, absolute oneness and absolute difference. But the difference is the difference in the appearance. You with me? She is different than you. She lives in a different house than you do. Smell her. Take a smell her. She's still... But you're experiencing her, and we're so happy for you, because you're living more and more in totality. And another way of understanding, and I love when you articulate this, another way of understanding non-duality is totalness. You with me? It's totality, it's wholeness. And in a certain way, true authenticity, as is described by the great yogis, is the totality that you're experiencing. Say yes if you're understanding this. This making sense to you guys? Making sense to you guys on the internet? Okay. And what we like going through step by step, because the only validity of this is our own experience. Then we have the experience, and so that's why the teacher here is our own experience of the manifestation of this awareness. But there is a difference. There are other traditions that in a sense undo all difference, but there's no one else there. Are you with me?
Platonic thing of same and different, that he had that conception of. Is that what he was?
I think in the Neoplatonic, which I'm a little bit, in the Neoplatonic, same but difference is he talking about the same phenomena. And the ancient Greeks, and one of our friends here is a student of Greek philosophy and studies with Greek masters, and is the sameness and difference simultaneously. That's simultaneous. And that bypasses splitting. So from this frame, most human beings are struggling psychoanalytically with borderline states. Most human beings, whether we like it or not, you with me, from this frame, are struggling with borderline states. By that I mean we split into all good or all bad. You with me? And we see it over and over again, easy. And President Obama's attempt was to take us beyond borderline states last night. It was. But you want to see a lot of borderline states, whether it's in families or experiences, you with me? There's this vast capacity to split, you with me? And in spirituality, there's a splitting of noima from phenomena. There's a splitting of noima from phenomena, right? Norma is the essence. They split that. And when you split that, you're going to find yourself in an unhappy place. It is really the oneness of noima and phenomena. Huh? Say yes if this is making sense, what I'm saying. Everybody doing okay with this right now? Hi, Anna. How you doing? What's happening for you this morning? I'm trying to include our internet friends on, because now they get CEU credits. They've moved up in status.
Bureaucracy still rules.
Yes, it does. How you doing, Anna?
I'm good. I only just came on because I had to take care of Olivia, so I'm jumping into the field.
Great. What are you experiencing as you jump in?
It's like landing in softness and open beingness, and I feel my lower body expand and I settle.
Yes, I'm glad you're mentioning the lower body again. So with our lower body, we're going to extend to each other through the lower body. She mentions she feels the lower body. So we're going to extend through the lower body, huh? Let's extend to each other through the lower body. And we've been focusing on Saturday mornings with the Dakini practices on the lower body. Because paradoxically, there is a bodily dimension to most of this experience at times. And the lower body actually helps support the manifestation of ground awareness, huh? As above, so below. So we just feel that for a moment. And then I'm going to continue reading this. So our method of gazing is gazing both within and gazing without simultaneously. So I'm learning to gaze both within and without simultaneously. Let's just do it again for this moment. Welcome back, Maria. Let's gaze within and gaze without simultaneously. We're not going to bother with it. Hi, Maria. How you doing? We can't. I think you have to unmute yourself. However we do that. At the bottom? Ah, you did. Good. How you doing?
Hi. With open eyes?
Yes. You can do either, but you can gaze within with your eyes open, and then start gazing without, but simultaneously. I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm gazing in and gazing out. And everybody else could be doing that with each other. Gazing in and gazing out simultaneously. And then that differentiation may dissolve. What's that like as you try that right now? Gazing in and gazing out simultaneously.
It's like being with closed eyes, not with open.
Uh-huh.
Like able to perceive what is happening outside, but being at the same moment stable, aware of what is going within. Like a perfect unification
Yes.
between inner and outer awareness.
In the
Yes. Earlier, while you were speaking, I had a tendency to have opened my eyes and look at you.
Yeah.
Listening, but at the same time, I was feeling like being with closed eyes and being somehow centered within.
Yes, in the Shaivite masters, Shaivite tradition, when the Hindu Shaivites, a non-dual tradition, many of us know that one of our teachers was Swami Muktananda. He called it Shambhava Mudra. And the is that how you say that, everybody? Say it again, hon. Shambhavi Mudra. It's like he would call it one eye open, one eye closed. But actually, you start gaining that stability of gazing in and gazing out simultaneously. That is a really useful practice, gazing in and gazing out simultaneously. In fact, there's a picture over there of Bhagavan, and if you look at him, it look like he's gazing out and gazing in. Yeah. Laura, could you turn the camera over there? He's gazing in and gazing out. Everybody able to do this? We're talking about Bhagavan, that Shambhava Mudra. So we're practicing that right now. Thank you so much. So let me ask. We can bring it back down. So how is that for you? Skip, gazing in and gazing out simultaneously.
You're speaking to me?
No, I was talking to Skip. Thank you.
Very clear.
That's okay. Glad to have you here though this morning. Yes.
So one of the experiences was
We'll pass that mic over to you. One of the experiences.
no difference between gazing in and gazing out.
Say that again, please.
So one of the experiences is there is no difference at the essence between gazing in and gazing out.
Can you put that to words more what that is like for you, where you don't feel the difference between gazing in and gazing out? As if there's one gaze that's now emerging.
So gazing in, there's light and spaciousness and vortex and
Okay?
unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
And gazing out is light and vortex and energy and openness and unfolding.
Do you see her form?
Yes, that was the other experiences. There's no difference, and then there's difference.
How is there no difference and how is there difference?
So in the one of gazing into, I'll just simplify it to light, gazing into light and out to light is the same. Then gazing into, the way I would put it is into my singularity,
Mm-hmm.
and gazing out into the singularities that are present here,
Mm-hmm.
there's difference in the no difference.
Can you feel
If that makes
one
any
gaze
sense.
as you gaze right now, Bob? Can you feel one gaze?
From time to time, it's the two aspects are held as one.
From time to time, the two aspects are held as one.
But it,
What's that like? Just that moment where the two aspects are held as one.
first word I was going to use when you said, what's it like gazing in and gazing out, was going to be delicious.
Okay, what might that be like? Gazing in and gazing out. Let's try it. With the experience. Can you put it to words?
Timelessness starts to open up. It, actually, the dark light starts coming while still having vision and seeing, who's here.
So as you're seeing that, I'm hearing you having a simultaneous experience of the Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and the Manakaya. I think you're having those three dimensions manifesting. I think.
And then there's a lot of heat and fire and
Heat and fire.
wind.
Thanks, Jeff.
It's getting actually harder to use words.
So let's still maintain speech. Because one of the things we're all learning to do is also, often we can go into silence, but we're learning the art of of articulating experience and integrating the subtle speech, the subtle dimensions more. Is that okay me saying that to you?
Yes.
And what's happening now as you do that?
About the only way I could put it is everything's expanding.
What does that mean, everything's expanding?
It's so I'm used to spaciousness, but it's like the spaciousness is moving into spaciousness.
Well said. Now, notice that, and that's how they describe it, right? Space moves into space, which moves into space, huh? What's it like just to be seeing that expansion of the vastness of awareness, the vast, what's it like if you're experiencing that vastness, even with a singular moment right now?
It's incredibly intense.
It is intense.
It has this sort of a felt sense of a liberation, but I don't know from what, but it's more
sense of what, huh? What's the phrase?
kind of a liberation.
A liberation. I'll use the phrase confinement, if you don't mind. It may fit or may not fit. Liberation from confinement. Pasu.
Yes.
Pasu. Pasu means, is it, the confined state is called sometimes pasu. It means I'm tied to a stick in the ground like a dog and a rope.
And the spaciousness moving into more spaciousness is an external and an internal experience.
Simultaneously.
Yeah, as one.
Can you pass that mic back? Thank you so much. Is everybody following Skip's experience? Everybody's awake? Let's continue on. So, we gaze into the field of being of our own being, and we gaze from within into the field of being within all beings. So there's a lot of tautology, right? Our leaping into the field of being as light is the most direct and immediate method for experiencing non-duality within duality of the appearing of phenomena. So we gaze within and gaze through our whole sense of embodiment of the energy and the light into the field of phenomena. And we're able to experience the innermost radiance of the openness of the appearing of phenomena. So there's this simultaneously that phenomena, as Lama Tarjan would say, how you relate to phenomena and what that is as we relate to it is really the source of liberation. So this is not just an inside to inside deal. That phenomena itself is part of the drama of self-liberation. So this takes it out of a monastic context. The gazing is both source and result. Huh? And the very drama of gazing increases the experience of embodiment of the light, and the embodiment of the light increases our experience of the gaze. I'd like to say that this right here is really, I find, so important in practice. And a lot of spiritual practice is ritualized. And this takes you beyond ritual, okay? And so in most of the Dzogchen traditions, when you go a certain way, there's very little ritual. So, and not that they don't use ritual, but most of those rituals are the earlier vehicles. You guys follow what I mean by that? So this is not a ritual here. This is you in your own self. By gazing, I embody the light. And by embodying the light, I am gazing. Raise your hands if that's making sense. Consider that your practice. I'm gazing, and by gazing with my whole body, I'm embodying the light. And by embodying the light, my gaze. It's like Avateshwar there, right? Who has all those eyes, embodying that. Now, so the unfolding process of embodiment of the light is a function of the natural process of embodying what is luminously being experienced. The unfolding process of embodiment of the light is a function of the natural process of embodying what is being experienced. I'm going to focus for a moment. So no matter what is happening, through the open gaze of the radiance of awareness, we can gaze into the immediacy of the situation. We can gaze into the immediacy of person. And we can gaze into the immediacy of whatever is becoming manifest. When the yogis speak about naked awareness, this is actually what they're talking about. Things become naked, huh? There is more of this openness of phenomena because we're actually experiencing the openness of the phenomena. There's an appearance of the phenomena, but more prior to that, there's an openness of the phenomena. In time and through time, we can gaze further and deeper into the openness of all phenomena. Now that's a little esoteric understanding. What might that mean? Hold on for a second. The lady sitting next to me, what might that mean, that statement? It's a little esoteric, isn't it?
Can you say the statement one more
Yes,
time?
Okay. So we're going to hang out with this, okay, lightly, okay? If we think too hard, it will never work. Our mind goes concrete. Through the open gaze of the radiance of awareness, we can gaze into the immediacy of a situation. And we can gaze into the immediacy of persons. And into the immediacy of whatever is becoming manifest. In time and through time, we can gaze further and deeper into the openness of all phenomena. We can gaze into the most ordinary phenomena of everyday moments and experience the translucidity of the event. We can feel the manifesting of the primordial light as this singular event in time and space. And we can, in time and through time, enter into the experience of the unfolding of the indeterminate into the determinate singularity of the moment. Now that's a mouthful, right? But let's see if we can play with it a little bit. What might that mean to you in terms of the openness of phenomena?
Well, it fits really well with an experience that I've been having with Carol.
What is that, hon?
Several times there's been moments where the phenomena that has appeared has been like a doorway, almost like a diamond-shaped doorway that would lead me into a more indeterminate space. And I found myself going into this place of, oh my goodness, can I really do that? And then really choosing to open to the phenomena of this moment and going with it. And that led me into an opening in my whole awareness field. And when you spoke about totality, it was an invitation to experience that totality, and it both brought a catch in my throat, and then when I was able to choose to open to it, even as I'm speaking the words, it feels like the radiance of the field around me, in my ears, in my skin, in the taste of my saliva, all of it is infused with light.
Thank you so much. We're going to pause for a minute. So, when we're gazing, and our entire body is gazing, awareness permeating our eyes, our heart, the channels, the chakras resonating. And we gaze into phenomena. We're gazing into the space of the phenomena also. For instance, there's Patricia. I'm looking at Patricia's back, and she's facing whoever was sitting there. But as I gaze into the phenomena, I'm also experiencing the space of the phenomena. When we gaze into phenomena, simultaneously we're gazing into the space of phenomena. The space of phenomena and the light of phenomena are exactly simultaneously the same. In Dzogchen, and also in Phenomenology, Heidegger later, light and space are in oneness. So as we gaze into the phenomena, the space of the phenomena becomes manifest. And as it becomes manifest, more space and light becomes manifest. And then as we stay with that, like Skip was describing, right, like Elizabeth is describing, then it starts opening that door, that iconic doorway, just like the icon starts opening more and more. And the space of phenomena and the light of the phenomena begins to expand and expand in its different dimensions, both as the flesh of Patricia, the archetypical vortexes manifest, and the luminous darkness of pure being itself. Say yes if that's making somewhat sense.
So that's translucidity.
That is translucidity. That is the true power of the translucent. You with me? Now just hang out for a minute. Now as we get this, and all this stuff unfolds over time, it's a fruitional period. Even to be talking about this way, there's a fruitional phase we're in. It's fruitional. You with me? Say yes if this is making some sense to you. You know, so we just hang out with it. And for instance, I can think it for a moment, and then if I think it too much, it just disappears. And then I'm left with the fucking thought alone. And it has nothing to do with anything. You with me? So it's like you get a glimpse of the thought, then it disappears, but there's a semblance that remains. Yes?
There's also the piece of not expecting it to show up in a certain way.
Yes, there's of not expecting it to show up in a certain way, because the itness of phenomena dissolves.
Yes.
And at a certain level, there is no it.
Yes.
There is no it
Yes.
whatsoever. So we're hanging out here. Let's check in with Jan. How you doing, Jan? What's happening? You got to get closer. We can't hear you. Yes. What's happening?
What started to happen is there's an awareness of the central channel filled with light, and
The winds, yes, of the essential channel filled with light.
then a wind blending with the light in the central channel, which then took me into that respiration where it feels like the whole body is breathing the light. There's a
Yes, can feel the breeze in your room. You know that even in the ancient Christian traditions, the Penema, you feel this breeze, the breath of God, the Ruah, this arising of the wind. How are you doing over there, Tom? What's happening?
Now The whole experience for me is, I was just in Qigong, I got into real openness and spaciousness and everything. And sitting here with Marilyn has just been succulent in the sense of the subjective knower connecting with the other subjective knower with pure knowing. And everything just kind of passes through that succulent experience. And as I say that, my mouth waters more. And then when we...
Everything passes through that succulent experience.
Yeah, yeah.
In that place, that neutral place,
Yeah.
translucid, all kind of stuff can come through.
Yeah. And at first I saw it up in the top, like we were together in the top of Marilyn's body and her head and that. And then we moved it down through both of our bodies. And it seemed to get much more powerful. The succulent wasn't as strong. It still tasted good, but there was a lot more power and brilliance to it. And then at one point it spread out all over the room.
I'm going to just say what I hear you say.
Okay.
What we do here. You know, I hear you feeling the light coming through the senses, which is very important in this, that the light is illuminating the senses.
Yeah.
And then as you move down, you're going deeper into the embodiment, but there's more pure power of the light and the energy itself, the rasa, and its own self.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually surprised that it got more powerful because I thought it was going to be kind of muted because it's going into the physical, but no, it didn't. And it got clearer, very much clearer.
In these, there is a text, by the way, and I'll take the mic. You want to say something else? Or?
No.
There's this text that I just got, and we're as you know, I have certain addictions, and this is one of them, among many others. But this is a fantastic book, and it just came out by Malcolm Smith. It's called Buddhahood in This Life. And what it really is, it's Vilamantra's commentary on Dzogchen and all the texts. And Vilamantra was one of the first masters in that 8th century, which what a time to live in that 8th and 9th century. Abhinagunta in Kashmir, actually 8th century also, 800s, yeah, it's the 9th century actually. And Vilamantra, but the role of the embodiment in this entire thing, this entire text is on embodiment. What happens when, and this was the Tibetan form of Dzogchen, you with me, these understandings of the great completeness and awareness. Then you start having, as Father Teso was expressing, and I've always had a prejudice this way, in the 11th century, then you start having all the Indian philosophers coming into Tibet, escaping, but you start having the frame of Indian philosophy, which put a lot of emphasis also on the unreality of the body, the putridness of the body, and you have an anti-libidinal orientation in certain ways. You with me? And this person I happen to know him when I was with Namkhe Norbu, and then also with Kunzeng Dechen Lipa, and he's worked in this book. It is a most fantastic text, and he even has a chapter on the field. You with me? And the ancientness of this understanding of the field. It's one of the first times I've seen this written. His name is Malcolm Smith. And his girlfriend used just a little person. When Rinjin Dorje would come here, his girlfriend would always come down from Vermont, and she'd be one of the people here. So I like that. So he's a person who I would like to come here at some point. You with me? Would be great. And I know we're going through a lot of changes right now because I'm cutting down my private practice in therapy. I'm going to California more because I have grandchildren addiction, among other addictions. But we want to try and keep this place alive. You with me? And so at times when we're not here, we still can have things here. So in one way or other, I would like to keep our center viable, and those other people teaching, because we're all at a pretty good space more and more and more. And it's this view that I really like being taught. Everybody can have their own views, and you can teach them elsewhere. But this view holds a lot of stuff. It holds psychoanalytic thinking. It holds a lot of different traditions. It holds EMDR. You with me? But we just happen to take phenomena as having a reality about it. Yes. Marilyn, do you want to say something?
No, he said it extremely well.
Okay.
But what I liked the most was how within the separateness it got strong and then it got larger.
Within the separateness, it got strong and then it got
Yeah,
larger.
I love that space. It's just
Unbound space.
yeah.
So I'm going to continue on a little bit more, and then we'll do a triangle in a few moments, okay? And then next week we're going to pick up this text. And also, if you guys could get this text, I think I emailed it out to you, The Translucidity of the Gaze of Awareness. And you can also get it in academic EDU if you want, okay? And what I like about this text, it really is it takes Togo out of just simply in the mountain high state, which is so great, and into downtown DC, with all of us, where we gaze within each other. So let me continue on here. Moreover, let's everybody enter into me again, if you guys don't mind. Let's lean in. Lean in. Inside to inside. Come a little further, please. And when I ask you to step into me, it's not that I'm a big deal. But as we step into each other, as we lean into each other, out of that conjunctio, the light is manifest. The mysterious conjunctio, huh? You guys feeling that as we do this? And I will not be contagious, hopefully. Moreover, even on a more subtle level of appearing, we can gaze into the archetypical dimension of phenomena, which may be manifesting within our apparitional view of existingness as the realm of luminous elementalness, huh? Manifesting as the intensity of the vortices, as Skip was describing, and the sacred luminous divine presences. So we're going to focus with that. So is anyone at this moment experiencing any of those presences, any of those archetypical manifestations? If so, would you mind describing it? Yes, Marla?
Oh, well, just as you were speaking now, Rudy, I had the experience of a cascade of Lateshwar and Kuan Yin and Saraswati, and just the sense of presence of these Devis.
What's it like to know them directly at this moment?
It's a gift. It's an experience of grace.
And I want you to notice how they're not pictures in your mind at this moment. You with me?
Yeah.
But configurations of transluminosity. There's a difference between a picture in my mind and the apparitional is translucent configurations.
Yeah, it's more vibrational.
It's more vibrational. It's more vibrational. Let's sit with her for a moment. And one of the things we know, they were all little vehicles. So if we lean into Marla, who's having this experience, on the one layer there's the communication through symbols, but more directly there is the directness of experience of the sublime vibrations which she's speaking about. So we're going to lean into her. Now I find myself going deeper into this non-conceptual state of a sublime felt sense of pure vibrational movements. And for me, this place of deathless awareness at this moment, okay? But in life, at this moment. Would anyone else like to share their experience they're having right now, if you don't mind? Yes?
Right now it feels just like it's such a healing experience. It's I feel like the archetypes are just so present, and there's so many colors, and it's just so bright and healing.
Yes. Let's just stay with that. And we're going to stay with you, because as we connect to you,
It's like fire.
It's fire.
Yeah.
It's like fire.
And earlier, I could feel them, but now they're just so strong, and I think you have to connect, metabolize all the stuff, all the junk that's there, and then let that go. If you can metabolize that and feel the light and feel the connection and resonate, and then they're there.
Yes. Yeah. They're actually there.
Always.
They're in their manifestation, but as you open the door to them in their manifestation, the power of the archetypical dimension is the what's the word you use? Not manifestation, metabolization.
Yeah. Yes.
Of experience.
Yes.
It metabolizes experience. You with me? And as it metabolizes that experience, then there's more power and more light and more clarity. And we're doing this without ritual. This is not anti-ritual. I love rituals, but rituals, you don't have to depend on rituals. And if you depend on rituals in this world, I'm telling you, you ain't gonna have any time for it. You have to go to a monastery, okay, or some other place. But ritual is useful. Ritual opens up the door. But we want to come where we are into naturalness. And just what we're covering right now, today, is more than enough if we have the practice of the natural state. And as Heidi's described, she came in from some difficult events, and then she starts experiencing this coming and going, this opening and closing, and then she starts to stabilize in it. We've heard this articulated in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, this is it. How are you doing right now, Dawn?
It's wonderful, and it's also so much. It's extension and connection, and that just makes it get so strong. I mean, I just feel the people in the room, and then it just builds the energy and the light and the.
What's it like for you to know that this is actually your capacity? What's it like? This is really your capacity.
Right now, it's wonderful because I don't always feel it.
What's it like to? Yes, but that's where you have to know it.
Right now, I know it.
What's it like to take it into your mind and have it become representational? Representationalness is really useful because representationalness is part of our identity. What's it like for you to know and to represent this to yourself, that this is me?
It's easier for me to take it into my heart.
Yes. And without the heart, nothing's going to take place. But you're working, most of us are working trying to get it to our hearts. Yours is there, but you're working on your mind.
Okay.
So in God's name, just represent it to yourself. I want you to represent it and put your hand on your friend Heidi. And I want you to say to Heidi, if you don't mind, using language, say, I know this is me. Just say it to her.
I know this is me.
And I want you to look at her and say, I know this is me.
I know this is me.
And I know that you see this in me.
I know this. You see this in me.
Yes.
And
Can I see it in her too?
And I
And I see it in you.
okay, I want you to say it, look at Marla.
Marla, I know this is me. I feel it and see it in me, and I see it in you.
Okay, I want you to say this to me, but we're going to pause as you say it to me.
All right.
I'm going to look very seriously at you, like a little tough. And I'd like you to say it to me equally direct.
I see this in me. I can feel it. I can feel the archetypes. I know they're here. I know they're in me.
What's it like for you to know they're in you completely, like today?
I feel huge. I feel open. I feel powerful. I feel like me.
I feel like me, the true me.
Yes.
Archetypes are not different than us. Archetypes actually manifest us. Are you with me? Like Durjam Lingpa, who we love so much here, and who has this great, I know I'm a book pusher, right? The Clear Mirror. I would love everybody to read it because it's on the archetypical realm, right? And his archetype, when people choose a deity, if you're choosing it outside yourself because you like somebody who has 7 ears and 3 noses, it's the energy that you actually are feeling in you, that is the archetypical energy that's manifesting in you. And there are more than one. So I'm reading one more paragraph and then we're done. At an even more and more subtle level, we can gaze even deeper and more subtly into the luminous darkness of potential space, of pure, unbound, unconfined consciousness. And Skip was touching that, huh? The luminous dark mother, Troma Nagmo, the Dzogchen, the Troma Nagmo, the dark mother of everything and anything. In this experience, and this is a hard thing to experience, there is neither experiencer or experiencer. Yet there is knower, knowingness. There is knowingness, there is the phrase, there's knowingness as potentiality. And this unfolding of potentiality is limitless. Timelessness beyond time and beyond place. This is existingness without an existent. Hang out, okay? Dharmakaya. There's no existence in Dhamma. There's existingness, but there's no existent. This is knowingness without knower and known. And this is being without beings. This is being. This is where Heidegger. What is being without beings? This is being without beings. And we enter that. Being, which is not a this and not a that. You guys have a little feel for this. It's a little tricky, huh? And so there's a lot of ways that people try and articulate this, but not easy. So finally end up. So Togao is the gazing method of Dzogchen. Togao is the practice of gazing within the translucidity of Nirmanakaya, within the translucidity of Sambhogakaya, and the luminous darkness of Dharmakaya, and all are dimensions of existingness. Now through the ongoing gazing experience, we experientially embody the luminous dimension of these 3 realms of awareness, these 3 bodies, the 3 trikaya they call it. We become the embodiment of luminous awareness, which is that which we are, and gaze becomes multidimensional and is infinite in horizons. Then next week we're going to go back into embody the channels more. So with that, let us create a little geometry quickly. Is that we can? Everybody doing okay? How you doing, Kathy? What's it like? What's happening? You have to unmute.
I don't know, I just feel the light. I don't see it, I feel it.
Sometimes people feel it. So let's do a triangle now, a geometry. We're doing a geometry. How you doing? Good. Everybody here? We're glad you visited today, Maria. Yes, glad to have you here today. We're now going to do a triangle, a geometry. Yeah, we can pull her right over there. She's in the great. Here we are. You guys are in the triangle. We love triangles. And someone can come over here. Come on, guys. Let's move. Here we go. Here we go. Chop, chop. Okay. So we're going to put our friend who's visiting today, Maria, we're going to place you in the center, okay? Yeah, we're just going to place you in the center. Okay. Okay. In fact, we'll place all our friends on the internet in the center.
Thank you for the honor.
Huh? What?
For the honor.
Yes. So glad to have you here today.
Me too, I'm very happy. Thank you for the chance.
Yes, thank you. I'm so glad you could come today. I know it's snowing in Athens today, and I love the seminar that you participate in. The Elysian Fields seminar sounds really magnificent. So let's focus. It's usually this seminar at this time. So we're going to focus on her, but we all want to pay attention. Let's go, guys. Hello. Come on. Hello. 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 You guys can talk later. Come on. Let's focus, okay? Everybody in here? Let's lean into each other. And okay, come on. Most of these things that sound theoretical are not really theoretical. They're instructional. They're like, try this. See it this way. So let's extend. We're going to gaze into everyone on the internet. I can just see the top of some people's heads. So we're going to enter the inner heart essence. And we're going to open up the heart. I'm going to extend the heart drops to the Dharmakaya, okay, the heart essence. It's not willful, but it is a wish. And now we're going to lean into you guys, because we really know that the extension of awareness is not only in front of our bodies, but we can extend our entire awareness. And then when that takes place, the columns of light become one. And we all understand the guru is the self-revelation of awareness itself, the self-revealing function in everyone. Now there's an open space, we can extend that into each other, that open, beneficent space, pure space, which is liberation. And we'll intensify this. And then we'll extend this to our city and all the different cities. And we can feel the power of this foundational ethic. People think ethics is a mental thing, huh? Dakinis laugh, unfortunately, huh? Then we extend to all the different cities. And then we're going to extend to our country at this particular time. And the light of awareness can permeate experientially. This is not a begging moment, but it's the power of bringing forth that which is and focusing it, the light. And the light is the great protector of ourselves, and it's a great protector of innocence. It is actually fire, the fire of love. And I hope everybody's still reading the Bhagavad Gita. I'm going to find a translation that is from a non-dual state. There is one by a Shaivite person. It's quite, I have to find it though. And all these different texts, the translators are very important. With one translator you get one thing. I'm a translator, so you get a highly prejudiced view, right? A totally prejudiced view. You know? But I'm a translator. But all translators are prejudiced. So sometimes you think you're reading an original text, but actually you're reading a prejudiced mind who's taking that text and presenting it to you from a certain frame. Sometimes you can read through that because you have an experiential basis and you read through it. Because ultimately when you're reading text, you're connecting to the mind of the writer. You're connecting to that awareness, huh? And when you understand that when you're reading text, you really want to bypass the translator and enter into that relationship with that awareness that was manifesting that through a particular person in a particular century.
Were you thinking of Jnaneshwar's Gita by Kripananda? Is it the
You know, but I like her Gita a lot. I'm thinking the Bhagavad Gita. That's that's a great Gita. That's Jnaneshwar's Gita. That's not the same. That's not the same. The Bhagavad Gita is a Gita on a song of war, and it's a song of what they call in two countries, families. It's a civil war. It's like a civil war between two. And it's a war. It's a discussion of ethics. You with me? And there's a chapter on the field itself. That's where I first started understanding field, through the Bhagavad Gita. You with me? And it's about war, and what it is to be a warrior, and what it is to have compassion on everyone, and yet the necessity of conflict, and the necessity also of protecting innocence in this world. And it takes compassion beyond good manners, wishing people well, and it's really, it's a text of fire, you know. With that, let's extend to each other. I'm so happy how things are unfolding for all of us right now, and this is really a fruitional period we're moving into, and it's going to open up more and more things, I believe, in a useful way for everyone here.
Rudy?
Yes?
Could I tell my little story?
Tell your story, yes, here. We're going to hear a story, okay?
Since we've been in the light today, Monday night was the National College Football Championship, Alabama versus Clemson.
Fantastic.
And I'm a fan. And Alabama has won this championship many times, and Clemson played Alabama last year and lost in an amazing game, 45-40. They came back this year, they wanted to win, and in the last 6 seconds of the game, they came from behind and scored a touchdown and won. And later, when the press was interviewing the coach, he said, "What did you tell your players before the game?" And he said, "Let the light inside you be brighter than the light shining on you." And he said, "We won because we love each other." And this is about love.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Huh?
The quarterback said they couldn't lose because the team had so much love.
The quarterback said it great. So with that, in our little group, which we have lots of love, and we have fire, and things are unfolding right now. There's change taking place, right? But it's change for opening. With that, we'll rub our hands again. Place it on our hearts. Hasta la vista. See you guys later. And now you can get CEU credits too, which is really fantastic. I don't want to get you sick. I know. I love the experience. It's another way of explaining and yet there is a difference. I'm going to say hello to Maria. Hi, Maria. I'm so glad you came today. Can you hear me? There you are. I hope you had a great time today. And I appreciate you coming so much.
Look at it.
You're always welcome to pop in. Okay, I know you got this seminar, which sounds great, but I'm glad we made contact. I'm glad we did it. Most fun. Thank you so much.
That's a good idea. Knowing my number.
You don't want to remove jam. And we have more people like that now. So we're not even academics. She's got like 2 PhDs in psychoanalysis.
And she dates yeah.
One of these great people.
We should join seminars together. Thank you.
That was really awesome. Five times a day.
I feel better already, honest to God.
Well, first time I did it, I took it once and felt better, and I didn't keep taking it. And I got
honest to God.
went downhill.
Oh, I forgot too. You know, what we're going to do is Elizabeth here. Okay, this is the key. Right now, Elizabeth is going to be showing Lama Torsion, and Erin's trying to get it set up if she can. Lama Torsion steel. Now, after we do that sequence, okay, and it may take a while, then we have a bunch of others. So we're going to then start having the sequence of all the stuff we have, like Durjam, Rinjin Dorje's empowerments. And Skip can also, if he can be one of the things. And so sometimes if you guys want, you might want to do a Saturday morning. You with me? And you can have a Saturday morning where you're doing the Nintig Yabishi. I can only do so much. So now we're spreading all this stuff out, which is really, timing's perfect. And so sometimes even at your house, if you want to, you can have the Nintig you said you can have the Nintig Yabishi. You with me? Or however we want to do this, we have so much valuable stuff. But now there's a way that people have it that it can be held competently. You with me? And the only thing we have to talk about is who comes. And I'm always careful who comes. You with me? Because everybody's equal, but some are assholes. I'm serious. You with me? And you don't need assholes. You with me? There are other paths for them. You with me? So that is one of the things, and they're just as good as this one. You with me? So it's like who do you want to serve dinner to? You with me? And there is a challenge to that, to have discrimination, who's in and who's not in. And we can talk about that. You want people who want to collaborate with you and want to support you. You with me? That is not everybody. You with me? And if people don't want to collaborate and don't want to support, there's definitely other places. There are other people who are made for that. I mean, Tara's great at that. Tara, that group is great. They deal with all kind of people. There's some people that are just made for that, and I wish them well. You with me? But as one of the things, as we think of this, we want to be careful who we invite.
Maybe people who
that
had an empowerment, or
even so, or no, it's one of the things that we talk about. But people who you can feel the field in is the best discrimination. There's a field in this person, and their mind more or less is connected to it, even if they don't know any theory whatsoever. You with me? Because and then that person brings something into the scene. You with me? And it's a mutually collaborative experience. It's the same thing I'm saying over and over again. The guru is within all of us. But and the guru is even within nutty people. But you don't necessarily want to have to deal with that. That's what we're thinking about as we're moving ahead here. You really are the gatekeeper. And in front of the gates is always these animals, like in lines. Is that making sense? So
No,
for
I
you,
felt the energy shift just as we went into it the last time I shared it. It was like this energy came into my home that hadn't been there.
hadn't been. So this is where we're going, okay? Fantastico. And Skip also might be able to do this out there. I'm thinking people who, like you three guys, have some technical capacity also. I don't do shit. It's just one of the characteristics I have.